This is Will from the Acton Ealing CoderDojo, and today I'm going to take you through the first page of Lost in Space, a very simple Scratch project. So I like to start with a new window in Chrome, new window or your shortcut of choice. In Google, I'm going to look up Code Club projects. It's already there. And then pick the first one. They are now hosted on Raspberry Pi that hosts Code Club and CoderDojo as well as a couple other things. So although we are a dojo, we still run the club material and Scratch module 1, and then the second project, Lost in Space, which is all about animations. Let me make that even bigger. All right. So we're going to learn how to program our own animation, something that looks somewhat like that. Now there's nothing interactive here. I'm not clicking, or it's not a game. It's an animation. But that's very powerful. With Scratch, you can basically make your own cartoon. You'll need a computer capable of running Scratch, obviously, and this will show us how to use a repeat loop to animate a sprite in Scratch, use a forever loop to repeat an animation indefinitely, that is forever, and understand that loops can be nested within each other, meaning that a loop can contain a loop, and in that loop can be another loop, and so on, like those little wooden Russian dolls. All right, animating the spaceship. Now I'm still on just my new window, new tab, and it remembers my ticking. Sorry, that was just from earlier. It should look, yes, if you've not done the project, all of your boxes will be unticked. And you don't even need to go and look for Scratch and so on, because you can just open. They give you the link, and if you click it, it opens in a new tab. So there's no need to faff. So you should end up with one tab for the project, one tab for Scratch. If you're using more than that, you're probably getting distracted. Now on Scratch, you may not be signed into Scratch. So if you're not, it should look like that. Otherwise, it should have your name. Now, I'm lucky enough that those are saved in my browser, but this may not be the case for you. So once again, remember to not forget. Remember to remember your username and password. Sign in and go to Create. This takes me to the default Scratch project, which always has the Scratch cat, which we're going to delete, just to start with a blank. So that's the bin in the corner of the sprite. Now, open a new Scratch project. We've done that. Tick the box, and then it's grayed out. So you know where you are, and if you lose, so it will remember. So if you actually go away, you can go and look it up. Another thing I'd like to do at this stage, and that's a good thing to do it quite early, is to name your project. So this is Lost in Space. You can put something like October. You can put the month or whatever. If you get several versions of the project, but let's just call it Lost in Space. Now the next thing we need to do is to add a rocket ship and the Earth to the stage. It does tell you how to do that, which is you need to choose a sprite, little thing in the corner, and then you'll be taken to the library where you can search, or they're also grouped in categories. So let's do that. It's in this little corner. So in Scratch, this area is for sprites, as you know. There's also the stage, which is a different type of object. And then here, new sprite from the library, and we want the rocket ship. Maybe about here, and then do that again for the Earth, which I think is like around there. All good. We can tick that box. Don't hesitate to pause the video if this is going too fast, obviously. I'm just giving you the... Now, next thing, just like we've added some sprites, we're going to change the costume of the stage to have a stars backdrop to show that we're in space. Now, the stage is here. Just like you get all of your sprites, you have the stage, which is kind of like, it's an object similar to sprites, in that sprites will have a code tab, a costume tab, and sounds tab, but the stage also has code tab, backdrops tab, which are just the stage costumes and sounds. So in here, we're just going to choose a backdrop, again, the big button with the plus, and this backdrop is stars. Here we go. It's looking pretty good already. On the spaceship sprite, click on the costumes tab. So make sure you have the rocket ship sprite selected. And then the costume tab would be the second tab here. And then you can see the rocket ship has several costumes. They're animated, which is quite cool. I might explore this a little bit further in the video much later, because it's quite advanced stuff. But here we're in the costume tab. And now we want the sprite to look sideways, so we're going to do that in the costume tab that we've just done. So use the arrow tool to click and drag a box around the whole spaceship image. Then click on the circular rotate handle, which is highlighted here, that thing with the two little arrows that go round and round. Rotate is just to turn things around. And rotate the image until it is on its side. So the arrow tool, and then I'm drawing a box around the spaceship. It selects the spaceship, and I use this little rotation handle to make it go sideways on its side. Again, that's done. I can tick it. This is not really the best way to do it, but I'll explain a little bit later. Now, they want us to add. The next thing that we're going to do is add some code to the spaceship sprite to make it speak and move. So when the green flag is clicked, point in direction 0, go to x, y, minus 150, say, let's go for 2 seconds, point towards the Earth, then glide to 0, 0. So that looks like a lot of code, but it's actually dead simple. The first thing was when the green flag is clicked, which is an event. The events live in the event category of the code blocks, which is that shade of, I'm going to call that mustard yellow. Although what's that? Yeah, that would be yellow, and this is an orange. Well, there's an orange there. Oh, god damn it. So this is like more of a tangerine. Would be, okay, I'm just going to call that, this is yellow. Let's stick to yellow. And then most of the stuff is motion blocks, which are the blue ones at the very top. The first thing was to point in the direction, the absolute direction, 0. That's one way you can point, is to actually give it the exact angle. So 0 is at 12 o'clock. If you can read the time, so it's like at the top. And then it goes clockwise, 180 is at the bottom, and then you get minus 90. So it's plus and minus. It's plus 90, minus 90. So 0 is at the top. The next thing we're doing, I could remember it, but I can't. Yes, we're going to xy 150, 150. Minus 150, minus 150, forgive me. Minus 150, minus 150. That's simple. Then we say something which is actually a looks block, because this is say as in with the speech bubbles or the thinking bubbles. So that's more of a look than a sound. Which, is that a purple? We've got something quite, is that violet? Indigo. No, that's is that one indigo? I'm just very bad with colors. I mean, Scratch doesn't help us, to be fair. They've got like very close, and I don't really know. If you're colorblind, that's not very accessible. What's the next thing we do? We point towards the Earth and then we glide to the middle. Now the coordinates, again, the 0 is in the middle, and so you've got like negative coordinates and positive ones. So minus 150 is like probably around here. Yeah. It's going to look like this. Remember, what the instructions we're giving in those code logs, those are things that you're doing here. Points towards the Earth, then glide. Again, we're back to motions. Points towards is the other type of pointing, and then on drop down select the Earth. This will list the sprites that are in your game. And glide, the second one, where there's a second counter and the position. So the position is going to be 0, 0. And was it 1 second? I think it was 1 second. Okay, so this looks like we did the right thing. That's good. We can tick it off. And now we test it at the end of our page by clicking the right flag. Oops, sorry about that. And here it is. And that's the end of the first page, animating a spaceship, of the project. I will see you in the next video, which, if you don't want to do the challenge straight away, we can go straight to video 3, but otherwise I will have a video number 2 for the challenge page.